Welcome to today's coaching lesson. Today we look at the 10 top rules or habits that I suggest for good nutrition. First one is to eat every 2 to 3 hours or on a regular basis. The more you eat, or the shorter the gap between your eating, and of course only eat when you feel hungry, but if you have a big enough gap between meals, what you might find you end up doing is eating more at each meal instead of spreading the amount that you eat over a day. So again, only eat when you feel hungry, but don't go for long periods without having something substantial to eat. Eat complete lean protein each time you eat. Protein is probably the most important nutrient we can eat. Because it's full of nutrients, it's very what we call nutrient dense as well. So it packs a lot of nutrients in a small amount, more so than you would with carbohydrates and fat. So every meal you have should have some form of protein. Animal protein has the highest density of nutrients. You can get protein from plants, but you have to eat more of it because it lacks the amount of nutrients in, say, 100 grams compared to animal protein. Eat vegetables every time you eat. Just like protein, vegetables are high in nutrients and minerals and vitamins. And so the more we can consume of them, the better the body will be able to function. And again, the more nutrients you can consume, the less hungry you're going to feel. Eat carbs only when you deserve to. Even though fruit and veg are carbs, the carbs we're talking about are the non-fruit and veg. So any grains, anything made from flour, for example, bread, pasta, rice, breakfast cereal. Because those sort of carbs, what we call simple carbs, don't have a lot of nutrients in them. They do have a lot of energy, calories, but not that many nutrients. We end up consuming more calories than we need to. And the best time to consume those sort of foods is after some sort of exercise. So make sure that if you are going to eat those sort of carbs, that it's in a 2 to 3 hour window after you exercise. Learn to love healthy fats. I hear this a lot, that there's good fats and there are bad fats. There are good proteins and bad proteins. There is good carbs and there are bad carbs. Basically, there's good food and bad food. So as long as you eat natural foods, the food that nature intended for us, then you'll be on a good path to good health and wellness. And that applies to fats. There's a lot of goodness in food fat, dietary fat, and a lot of people think that fat that you eat will turn into fat in your body, but it doesn't. The fat we eat is, again, like vegetables and protein, has a good amount of nutrients, essential fatty acids that the body needs to function properly. So if you cut them out of your diet or have small amounts of it, then your body's not functioning as well as it could. Ditch the calorie counting drinks. So the quickest way you can get calories into the body is through fluids. So if you are consuming drinks that are high in calories, like alcohol, fruit juices and sodas, then that's an easy way to consume too high a number of calories in one day. Where with food, because you have to chew it and digest it, it takes a longer process for the calories to get into your body, then you probably won't consume as many of them as you would from a liquid form. Focus on whole foods. Whole foods are better for us than if you're looking at foods that are, turn into fluids or shakes and so forth. Even though nutritional shakes have their place, the body functions better on whole foods because we have to chew it, we have to digest it, the body has to go through that process. It's only very recently that we started consuming our food and calories in liquid form. So always look to have food in its whole form. Have 10% foods. We're not looking for perfection here when it comes to nutrition, but we are looking for at least 90% of what you eat is based on the rules that we just talked about so far. But, we do get a lot of pleasure from food. It becomes part of our social life. Our relationship with food is very different from our forefathers. So there are going to be foods out there that are very tempting, very delicious. So I'd say have them, but keep them to about 10% of what you consume. Develop food preparation strategies. The old saying, fail to plan to fail, is so true in this. A lot of time what we eat is on impulse, on what's available to us at the time. And because hunger is such a strong trigger when it comes to eating, not surprisingly, if we haven't planned in advance what we're going to eat, we are at the mercy of what's available to us at that time. And when we're hungry, we're just going to eat whatever we can and as much as we can at that time. So if you prepare in advance and make the meals ready to go, then you're not at the mercy of impulsiveness, and you'll be able to stick to your nutrition plan much easier. And the last one, balance daily food choices with healthy variety. So it's not always going to go perfectly, but you've got to find that balance between the foods that we shouldn't really be consuming on a large basis with more healthy foods. So have a bit of variety in your day. Don't look for perfection, but make sure it's more balanced towards the previous 9 nutrition habits that we discussed so far in this video. And if you follow these 10 on a consistent basis, I'm pretty confident that you'll see the health that you want, the wellness that you want, and be in better body shape, a much healthier weight, have more energy, and so forth. So I hope you found this coaching lesson helpful, and do your best to follow these 10 rules.